In today's class, I am going to explain about consignment. Before I explain this chapter, let us understand what do you mean by consign. First of all, try to understand what do you mean by consign. Consign means sending. The meaning of consign is sending. What you are sending? The sending goods are sent from one person to another person. It is called consignment. For example, X is sending goods to Y. Rupees 10,000 worth of goods, X is sending to Y. The person who is sending the goods is known as consignor. The person who is receiving the goods is known as consignee. In a consignment, there are two parties are involved. One is consignor, one is consignee. In the case of consignment, only goods have been transferred, but not the ownership. This is completely different from sales. In the case of sales, possession of goods along with the ownership is transferred. Here only the possession of goods have been transferred from consignor to consignee. Only the goods have been transferred from consignor to consignee. But still the owner of this 10,000 worth of goods lies with consignor. That is, X is the owner of this goods, 10,000 worth of goods. What Y will do? Y will receive the goods and Y will sell the goods on behalf of consignor. For the service, what consignee will get? Commission. Consignee will be paid commission for the services rendered by him. What is the service the consignee is doing here? He is selling the goods. He will be getting commission for selling the goods on behalf of consignor. He is just like agent. The relationship between consignor and consignee is principal and agent. Why consignee is known as agent? He is simply receiving the goods and selling goods on behalf of consignor, on behalf of X. For this, consignee will be getting commission on the sales made by him. How we can define commission? It is nothing but the remuneration paid for the services. The service is nothing but selling goods. Commission is defined as the remuneration paid by consignor to consignee for the services he rendered. The service is nothing but selling goods. Now, here only goods will be transferred but not the ownership. In the case of sales, both will be transferred. Ownership as well as goods. Goods as well as ownership will be transferred in the case of sales. Now, in the case of consignment, along with the goods, one document also will be transferred. Along with the goods, one document also will be transferred from consignor to consignee. That document is known as pro forma invoice. Pro forma invoice. But in the case of sales, we will be naming as invoice. Invoice is nothing but, in our language, invoice is nothing but bill. In the case of sales, the bill should be called by the name as invoice. But we are not calling that bill as invoice here because it is not a sales. Since it is a consignment, it is not a sales. The same document, the invoice document is known as, called as pro forma invoice. Pro forma means similar to bill. It is just like bill. But you should not call by the name as invoice because it is not a sale. In the case of sales only, the bill should be called by the name as invoice. Now, what is contained in this pro forma invoice? What is the information that is available in the pro forma invoice? What information will be there? Now just understand this. What is the information that is contained in the document which is sent by consignor to consignee? What is the document known as? Pro forma invoice. The information contained in the pro forma invoice. First one is quality of the goods. Quality. Description of the goods. quantity of the goods. Mode of transport. This is very, very important. Mode of transport. What do you mean by mode of transport? But what is the mode? What is the transport the consigner has chosen for sending goods from consigner to consignee? Which transport has selected? Whether the goods have been transported through airways or roadways or sea. Then price. Very, 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 very important is price. At what price the consignee has to sell the goods? This will be clearly instructed by consigner. In our example, X is the consigner, Y is the consignee. X will give clear instructions regarding price. At what price the consignee has to sell the goods. He cannot sell the goods below this price. He can sell at either equal to this price or more than that price. For example, price is, let us assume that 10 rupees per kg or per unit, whatever it may be. Why cannot sell less than 10 rupees? Either can sell at 10 rupees or more than 10 rupees. The price, this is a minimum price at which the consignee has to sell the goods after receiving the goods. These instructions will be given by consigner to consignee. What is the minimum price the consignee has to sell the goods? In my example, I have taken 10 rupees. He can sell more than or equal to 10 rupees, but not less than 10 rupees. This is known as pro forma invoice price. This is known as pro forma invoice price. Why not price? Why it is pro forma invoice price? Where this price is mentioned in the pro forma invoice. That is the reason why they named it as pro forma invoice price. This is nothing but minimum price at which the consignee has to sell the goods. That minimum price will be instructed by consigner. Consigner will clearly mention, will specify at what price the consignee has to sell the goods after receiving the goods. This is known as pro forma invoice price. So this is the information that is contained in the pro forma invoice about quantity, quality and description of the goods and mode of transport and at what price the consignee has to sell the goods. Right. After receiving the goods, consignee has to pay some advance to consigner. For example, X sent 10,000 worth of goods to consignee. Now Y has to pay some advance after receiving the goods. This advance can be either whatever the percentage, either 40% or 30% or anything, whatever it may be the. As per the terms of the both consigner and consignee. After receiving the goods, the consignee has to pay advance to consigner. What is the mode of payment? How he can pay the advance? This advance can be paid either in the form of cash or in the form of check or in the form of bills receivable, bills of exchange, bills receivable. Whatever be the mode of payment, cash, check or bills receivable. This will be paid only after receiving the goods. After receiving the goods, Y will pay some advance to X. Some percentage of the value of the goods will be paid in this form, either cash or check or bills receivable. Now, after paying the advance, the consignee also incurs some expenditure for receiving the goods and for selling the goods, for marketing the goods. X, Y, 10,000 worth of goods. What is the document the consignor is sending to consignee? Pro forma invoice. This is the document sent by consignor to consignee. X is the consignor, Y is consignee. And consignee also will send one document to consignor. That document is known as account sales. But in the case of sales, the buyer will not send any document. The seller only will send invoice at the time of selling the goods. The buyer will not send any document to seller. But in the case of consignment, the consignee will send one important document to consignor. What is the information that will be contained in the particular document? Which is known, the document is known as account sales. The document sent by consignor to consignee is pro forma invoice. I already explained what is the information contained in the pro forma invoice. Now let us see what is the information that is contained in the account sales which has been sent by consignee to consignor. What is the information that is contained in the account sales? What are the expenses incurred by the consignee, spent by the consignee at the time of receiving the goods? At the time of receiving the goods, what are the expenses the consignee has spent? Second one is, what is the advance paid by consignee at the time of receiving the goods? Then, what is the commission payable to consignee? Who has to pay this commission? The consignor has to pay a commission to consignee because he is selling the goods. For providing the service of selling the goods, he will be getting commission. There is nothing but remuneration will be paid in the form of commission. Then, what are the sale proceeds? Means how much amount the consignee received by selling the goods sent by the consignor. There is nothing but sale proceeds. And finally, what is the net amount payable by consignee to consignor? What is the net amount payable by Y to X? Payable to Y to X, consignee to consignor. How will you get the net amount payable? The net amount payable is nothing but deduct all the expenses and commission. Net amount payable is equal to whatever the amount you got by selling the goods. Sales proceeds, let us assume that you got some 25,000. You got by selling the goods, you got 25,000. Out of this 25,000, he has to deduct his expenses. Let us assume that he incurred 2,000 rupees at the time of receiving the goods. And he paid some advance of 4,000 at the time of receiving the goods. Let us assume that the commission payable to him is 1,000. So what is the total amount the consignor has to receive from consignor is 7,000. So deduct his expenses of 7,000 from the sales proceeds. So 18,000 is the net amount the consignee has to pay to consignor. After deducting all his expenses, all his advances and all his commission from the sale proceeds which he received by selling the goods sent by the consignor. This all information will be contained in the document sent by consignee to consignor. This document will be presented where? In the account sales. Now regarding commission, we are having basically three types of commission. One is very familiar, ordinary commission. Commission is nothing but the remuneration paid to the consignee for the services rendered, that is sales. All the commission is divided into three types. Ordinary commission. Ordinary commission is very familiar. This will be calculated at a certain percentage on sales. For example, 4% is given. 4% on sales. This is calculated fixed percentage on sales. Then next is delivery commission. Very important commission. This is delivery commission. This will be paid only for taking the chance of risk of bad debt losses. Bad debts losses. Generally, the consignor has to pay the risk of bad debt losses. If the consignee agrees to take the risk of bad debt losses, this commission will be paid. That commission is known as delivery commission. This is the bad debts will arise generally on what type of sales? Credit sales. If any goods are sold on credit, if there are any bad debts, means nothing but what? Defaulters. If any customer does not make the payment, then we can say that it is a bad debt, it is a loss to the consignor. In order to shift the risk of bad debt loss from consignor to consignee, the consignor will pay some commission for bearing that risk of bad debt losses, which arises on account of credit sales. That commission is known as delivery commission. This is the second commission. Now last one is, third commission is overriding commission. When is this commission will be paid? Override commission. This commission will be paid when the consignee sells the goods over and above the pro forma invoice price. Let us assume that the pro forma invoice price is, what do you mean by pro forma invoice price? What is the minimum price at which the consignee has to sell goods? In our example, I will assume that 10 rupees. You cannot sell at below 10 rupees. You can sell at 10 rupees or above 10 rupees. Let us assume that the consignee sold goods the above 10 rupees means let us assume that 25 rupees. This is the actual selling price. So what is the surplus here? 15 rupees is the surplus. On this surplus, the consignee will be paid commission. That is known as overriding commission. Overriding commission will be paid on surplus. When you will get surplus? When actual selling price is more than the pro forma invoice price. The consignee sells goods over and above the pro forma invoice price. Then only will get surplus. This overriding commission will be paid on the surplus. In our example, at what price the consignee has to sell the goods? At 10 rupees. But he sold the goods at 25 rupees. This is more than the pro forma invoice price. How much amount more he sold the goods? 15 rupees. This is known as surplus. On this surplus, you will be getting commission. The consignee will be getting commission. That commission is known as overriding commission. These are the three types of commission which is very important at the time of solving the problematic part. If you like my channel, please subscribe.